Faut aller là-haut, j'imagine. Non. Non, non, je pense qu'il faut juste continuer la route. Ça n'a rien à voir, ceci. Faut continuer la route, c'est là la route bifurque. Non, donc fallait bel et bien aller là-haut, je pense.
Oh my god, I can't believe my eyes.
How can she lift that massive rock all by herself? She's gotta be one of those adepti, surely.
Oh, mighty Adeptus, please give me your blessing so that in the coming year I may reap a more bountiful salary.
T'as bien raison, Lemming.
This is top tier in size and quality, and the condition it's in is quite simply immaculate. Congratulations, this item is approved for submission. I'm going to award you full marks for the Sunset Vermilionite item. May I take your name?
My name isn't important. I'm not even here to compete. I was just delivering this for some other people. They should be here any minute now.
Shenhe, and Ningguang's little helper.
Ah, so you're the ones behind this. No wonder. The rarest talent turns in the rarest plastrite specimen.
Bien
But
évidemment.
I have to correct you on one point. It's not helper, it's secretary.
Pardon, mademoiselle secrétaire, évidemment. Évidemment. Toujours des pandas. Merci
Miss
beaucoup d'être
Secretary,
passé.
what do you think of the rock we found? Pretty amazing, right?
In truth, it is the finest piece of plastrite we have received so far.
Magnifique.
If everything goes according to plan, we will use this piece in the foundation of the Jade Chamber, which will enable us to proceed to the next stage of construction.
Imagine, t'as gagné l'enchère, t'as gagné la pièce à 500 millions et en fait, c'est pas assez. Il y en a quelqu'un qui en a amené une encore mieux. Oh, je pense là, tu t'enterres
As a
vivant.
side note, Lady Ningguang has rented some dwellings in the nearby area to serve as accommodations for the contestants. If you need a place to rest, you are welcome to stay there. Now, please excuse me. As you can see, there is still a lot of work to do on the building site.
Évidemment.
Shenhe, Shenhe, just now on the way over, pretty much everyone was singing your praises.
Oh, really?
What kind of reaction is that? So strange. Aren't you happy about it?
Je pense qu'elle s'en tape. Hein.
Whenever Paimon gets praised, Paimon can't help but hold her head up high and break into a big smug smile.
I've had similar compliments before.
Ah d'accord.
They call me an adeptus.
Ah très bien.
Treat me with great deference and respect, as if I'm set apart from the common folk.
Yeah,
Mais
'cause
c'est vrai, oui.
that's how adepti are. At least the ones we've met are pretty unique and reclusive too. Wait,
But
Oh pardon.
I
J'ai
am
lisé le
not.
chat.
Shenhe?
Bah,
I'm fine. I've been exerting myself quite a lot ever since we set foot in that abode.
Well, Byron said that there are some makeshift hotels we can use, right? Let's go check in and take a rest.
faut que je fasse gaffe, à chaque fois je skip trop tôt parce que parfois en anglais ils disent un truc de plus.
No need. I simply need to find myself a secluded place in the wilderness to sit and meditate in silence.
Oui, bien sûr, oui.
You can't do that. It's dangerous out in the wild on your own. When you're hungry, you go eat something tasty. And when you're tired, you go lie down in a nice, comfy bed. Alright? Seriously, don't punish yourself like this.
J'avoue que un lit c'est bien, hein. Même si t'aimes pas les trucs des humains.
Okay.
Ah,
If you
Great!
Pardon.
Now we're talking. Let's head to our hotel.
ok. L'emmener dans une auberge à proximité pour qu'elle se repose, oui. Proximité. Oups. Oups. Alors attends, faut monter, je pense. Je ne peux pas. Je vais éternuer. Non, oui, je ne sais plus. Terrible. Terrible moment, ça. Non, non, je vais plus éternuer. Eh, mais mes allergies, là, d'habitude, j'en ai moins que ça. C'est bon, il est midi, je peux arrêter les allergies, hein. Je me suis levée à 8h, c'est... non. Alors, Une auberge à proximité. Vous allez me dire que c'est en bas? C'est en bas. Ouais. Ouais, c'est cette auberge-là. Superbe.
Hi there. Checking in, are we? You're just in time. We only have 2 rooms left. Since this was chosen as the building site for the new Jade Chamber, we've had a constant stream of people in this area. And not just workers either. Visitors, business people, tea sellers, all sorts. So, business is booming for me today. Very few vacancies. You're lucky you got here when you did.
Évidemment.
Great!
Évidemment.
One of your rooms is still being cleaned. I guess it should be ready within the hour. The other room is just through the door on the left.
Comme par hasard. Comme ça, on va toutes les 3 dans
Here
la
are
même
your
chambre.
keys. All right. Hope you enjoy your stay. Please excuse me, I'll leave you to it.
Shenhe, you should go get some rest. We'll hang around outside until the other room's ready. Paimon's gonna go see if there's anything good to eat around here. Paimon couldn't help but notice one of the guests walk in with a huge grilled chicken drumstick before. Let's buy one for Shenhe too. She can have it as a midnight snack. Or save it for breakfast tomorrow.
Non, elle veut des fleurs.
All right. I will head to my room for now. If you need anything, don't hesitate to disturb me. I'm a light sleeper. I will hear if you knock on the door.
Évidemment.
See you tomorrow.
Hey, isn't that Cloud Retainer? What's she doing here? Let's go and say hi.
Évidemment. Évidemment, on reste dehors. Donc tant qu'à faire, parler à Souffle Nuage. Souffle Nuage, bonjour. Oui, bonjour. Que faites-vous, très cher? Pourquoi êtes-vous là?
One trusts you have met Shenhe. So, are you getting along quite well?
Oui.
So far, so good. Yeah. So, you know Shenhe too, Cloud Retainer?
Naturally. Save for Ganyu, who spends the majority of her time in Liyue Harbor. All the Adepti living today are acquainted with Shenhe to some degree.
Elle a pas l'air contente.
Cool. So, what's her Adeptus name anyway?
Je pense qu'elle l'aime pas.
Calling her Shenhe feels kind of friendly, but also kind of disrespectful. So Paimon's thinking maybe it'd be better if we called her by her Adeptus name instead.
Her Adeptus name? Why, pray tell, would Shenhe have an Adeptus name?
Ah, bah parce que ça en est une, non?
Don't all Adepti have a special title they go by?
On this latter point, you are correct. However, Shenhe is human.
Ah, très bien. Donc c'est vraiment juste une humaine tarée qui dort dans la montagne.
Oh, right. Wait, what?
Hein? Du coup, elle dort dans la montagne, elle bouffe des fleurs, mais c'est pas une adepte. D'accord.
What? You knew already? So is Paimon the only one who didn't know?
Alors, non, je savais pas, mais ouais.
Do you mean to say that she presents differently from ordinary human beings?
Bon, elle est un peu chelou, quoi.
Well, to start with, her problem-solving methods are extremely direct.
Oui, mais ça, c'est normal.
Ah, yes. She was like this all those years ago when one first met her. In this respect, she has not changed.
Mais du coup, c'est une humaine, mais il y a un bail d'immortalité encore, parce qu'elle a l'air d'avoir 2000 ans, comme tout le
One
monde.
first found Shenhe by chance in a cave. One was passing by and sensed the presence of a god's remains. Being of an ever-vigilant disposition, one entered immediately to inspect the scene. Inside was Shenhe, then aged around 6 years old. In her hand, she held a dagger with which she was confronting a monster that was the god's remains incarnate.
That sounds so dangerous.
Bon, quand t'as pas le choix...
When one arrived, she had already been locked in confrontation with this monster for several days. Most mortal children are fragile, both physically and mentally, and are highly reliant on their parents for survival. But not so her.
Peggy 12, hein. Peggy 12. La plupart des enfants, c'est des merdes, hein. Ils sont frêles de corps et d'esprit, hein. Ouais, sans leurs parents, ils sont rien. Désolé, hein. Désolé si vous avez 12 ans. Parce que déjà, si vous avez 12 ans, vous n'êtes pas là, bien sûr. Bien sûr. Est-ce que Marie sera toujours en live à 17h? Non, j'arrête à 15 maximum.
That she was able to endure such terrible danger was due not only to her strong willpower, but also to the bloodlust and homicidal instinct with which she was born. One dealt with the monster, yet she still refused to lower her guard. She even pointed her dagger in one's direction and remained ready to strike. Only after she was satisfied that one had no intention to cause her harm did she finally relent. She then passed out without uttering a single word.
In other words, if you hadn't passed by that day, Shenhe might have...
Ah oui, donc elle l'aime bien en fait. C'est pas qu'elle l'aime pas, c'est qu'elle l'aime vraiment bien.
Not necessarily. Upon one's arrival, one could sense that the god's wrath was gradually receding. Even had the stalemate continued, one suspects that Shenhe may have still emerged the victor of the confrontation.
That's still so dangerous, though. Why was a tiny little kid battling against the wrath of a god in the first place?
Bah, elle avait pas le choix, non?
Alas, the mortal world is rife with suffering of every kind, and she had experienced her fair share of this, even at a tender age.
Ah, ok.
Seeing that she was homeless, one decided to adopt her.
Donc sa maîtresse, c'est elle. D'accord.
Indeed, it is one to whom she refers. Shenhe has an extraordinary constitution, making her well adapted to practicing the Adepti arts. All the Adepti cherished her talents, and so we were willing to train her. However, her homicidal urges did not subside with age. Rather, they grew stronger day by day.
Ça, oui, c'est normal, ça. C'était un instinct meurtrier de base, ça se développe, ça se développe, ça se dissipe pas.
Mooncarver once performed a divination for her. He declared that her fate is to bear the curse of calamity. Consumed by malevolent energy, she is prone to bring harm to those around her. Such is the magnitude of the danger this poses, that her soul must be bound with red ropes to keep her homicidal instinct at bay. The red ropes have indeed served to keep her calmer and more content. They also seem to have rendered her somewhat inexpressive. Perhaps...
Oh, pardon. Elle a dit un truc en plus. Ok.
It is only by fate that people's paths may cross. Now that Shenhe's path has crossed with yours, please be sure to treasure the gift that fate has given you, and take good care of her.
Ok.
Oh, now Paimon gets it. You came out here to check up on Shenhe because you were worried about her, didn't you?
Bah, j'imagine, oui.
Huh. You dare draw such a facile conclusion on the nature of one's present excursion? Incorrect. The truth is that while Liyue Harbor may seem peaceful today, danger is always lurking in the shadows. Ningguang once made a bold assertion that this is to be the era of the contract between Liyue and the humans. Well, one is most curious to observe how she will respond to the coming storm. If she handles it admirably, one is willing to be a witness to her achievements. But if she does not, the Adepti shall not hesitate to seize control. Let us conclude our conversation here for today. One has occupied enough of your time, and night is approaching. Be sure.
Pardon. Elle parle un peu inversée entre ses phrases.
She just grew up around the Adepti.
Ok.
Oh, no wonder she doesn't like being treated as an adeptus. Having everyone falling over themselves to show their respect all the time must be kind of hard to deal with.
Oui et non, en soi. Il y a pire dans la vie, je me dis. Ok, ça c'est beaucoup de lore, beaucoup de trucs, mais en gros, c'est une humaine qui a été élevée par une adepte. Très bien. Jusque-là, tout va bien. On va attendre le lendemain matin. Est-ce qu'on est incapable de dormir, nous? Hop, 8 h du mat. Parti. Ouais, en fait, elle commence... T'entends quand elle parle, elle commence par la fin des phrases, puis termine par le début. Et comme moi, j'ai déjà tout lu en attendant, j'ai skip 2-3 de ces phrases. Il est vrai. Mais du coup, non, elle a pas 6000 ans, ouais.
Hey, so, Shenhe...
Master has relayed my situation to you, I take it.
Oh? How did you know?
I'd intended to wait until you came back before going to sleep, but I didn't hear you come in. I was worried that something may have happened to you, so I went outside to check and caught sight of my master. On top of this, you have been acting very strangely around me this morning, causing me to suspect that my master must have told you everything about me. After all, Master is... very talkative.
Sorry, Shenhe. Paimon had you down as an adeptus this whole time, but it turns out Paimon was wrong.
It's okay. I don't mind. The fault is mine for not explaining everything to you sooner, because in my experience, trying to explain is a futile pursuit. Still, though you mistook me for an adeptus, you never treated me as distant and unapproachable. Instead, you treated me as you would a friend. For this, I am very grateful indeed.
To be fair, we've met our fair share of real adepti, too. Anyway, now it's settled. From now on, you're our friend. Whether you're an adeptus or a human isn't the important thing. First and foremost, we're just plain old friends.
Bien sûr.
Got it. Although I don't know quite what it entails in terms of what I have to do, I must say I like the title friend very much indeed.
Y a rien à faire, c'est juste un titre.
Great! Well, now that we're all rested up, we should start searching for the other 2 items on the list.
C'est vrai qu'il y en a encore 2, ouais.
Before we do that, let's go to the building site and ask Ningguang's little helper how the progress is going. After all, Sunset Vermilionite is so rare. Paimon doubts many competitors will really be able to find any. If it turns out some of them have given up already, we'll be able to take things a little more slowly.
Ok.
Oh, and another thing. We bought some grilled chicken drumsticks on the way back last night. There was a place just outside.
Bien sûr.
Here's one for you, Shenhe. Try it. They're so good.
Oh, Paimon et la
I
bouffe.
concur. It has a rich flavor, far more agreeable than those I've cooked for myself in the wilderness in the past.
Évidemment. Les 500 millions, bah c'est pas nous qui avons payé les 500 millions, hein, c'est d'autres personnes. Hein. Nous, la pierre, on l'a trouvée fair and square. Hein. Tu regardes les trailers des persos au fur et à mesure que tu les rencontres? Non, pas du tout. Pas du tout. Je fais l'histoire. Ils se présentent d'eux-mêmes. Je suis pas le genre... J'aime bien le lore. D'habitude, j'aime pas le lore des jeux vidéo parce que c'est un peu trop long. Là, j'aime bien. Et des moments où c'est un peu trop long. Genre là, tout le passage avec Souffle Nuage était un peu trop long. En fait, ils prennent du temps à expliquer quelque chose qui est simple. Mais je suis pas le genre de personne qui va vraiment chercher le moindre détail sur le lore et tout, machin. Faut vraiment que ce soit... Ouais. Ouais, non, moi je suis juste en mode, ok, le perso il se présente, c'est ça, ok. Voilà, je cherche pas trop plus loin que ça, on va dire.
Look! The Jade Chamber is floating into the sky! But it seems to be tied down by something.
Ah,
That's because it's not finished.
bah oui, forcément, il en faut deux de plus, ouais.
And hey! People Paimon doesn't know?
Given the enormous scale of the Jade Chamber, we split the construction work into 2 phases to make sure the structure remains balanced. Before
D'accord.
we find some suitable plastrite, we build the Jade Chamber's keel at ground level. Once the plastrite is ready, we place it into the keel and let the partially constructed Jade chamber rise up to the height of the surrounding mountain peaks.
D'accord.
The remainder of the construction work is then carried out at that altitude. Once everything is ready, we release the iron tethers and allow the Jade chamber to rise to its target altitude.
Ok. Jusque-là, c'est logique.
Miss Bywin, we've brought some new materials to submit.
One moment, I'll be right there.
Celle aux cheveux violets et tout, si c'est pas un perso jouable, je comprends pas parce qu'elle brille. Hein.
The construction work has only been able to progress this rapidly thanks to the plastrite provided by you. Lady Ningguang is most grateful and looks forward to seeing more of your work.
Wow,
Okay.
can't believe you sourced the plastrite so quickly. It's the key piece of the puzzle. Looks like you beat us to the punch.
Ah, elle, je l'avais reconnue, mais on l'avait jamais vue encore.
Wait, I know you. You're the one who fought against the Vatuian Osile, right? Oh, sure enough, your reputation precedes you.
Ouais. Ouais, toi aussi, tu... Ouais. Quelque chose qui te précède. Des beaux yeux, elle aussi, hein. Des beaux yeux, celle-là. Ouais. Bien sûr. Sauf pour Baby Jill. Mais même pas, j'ai pas regardé de trailer ou quoi que ce soit. Ou juste... Enfin, il s'est présenté, il est arrivé, on est allé chez lui, tout ça. Mais je suis pas allée chercher trop loin. Je trouve qu'ils font bien déjà dans l'histoire pour présenter les persos. Je trouve. Ils arrivent bien, genre ils arrivent, ils se présentent et tu vois, c'est à peu près cohérent qui c'est quoi.
Pleased to meet you. I'm Beto, captain of the Crux.
Un bel œil. Oui, non, mais l'autre il est beau aussi, même si c'est caché, tu vois, c'est caché, c'est beau.
Beto, are you here to join the Jade Chamber contest too?
Sure am. I happened to get my hands on a chunk of sunset vermilionite on a voyage a while back, so I figured I'd bring it over.
Huh. So even though it's rare, we're not the only ones who managed to get a hold of it.
Bravo.
Oh, I've got some introductions to do. This is the renowned Miss Yoon, or Yoonjin, probably the most famous figure in the Liyue opera scene.
Yoonjin.
Greetings.
Ok. Ah oui, elle peut se jouer parce qu'elle est géo.
These two are Paimon and the Traveler. I'm sure you've heard of them before. And this is... sorry, I'm not sure we've met.
Oui, oui, Peggy 12. Ouais. Peggy 12, évidemment.
Shenhe. I am their... friend.
Good to meet you. Well, from today on, I guess all of us are friends.
Ok, mais on se connaît pas, mais si tu veux.
Miss Yoon is also here for the contest. Turns out she needed to borrow a boat, so we came together.
It's an honor to finally meet you both. I've heard much about you. Miss Shenhe, though we are only meeting for the first time, I have a feeling that we will get along very well indeed. To be honest with you all, I am in great need of this opportunity to ask Lady Ningguang a question. That's why I joined the contest. Thanks to my father's connections, I was able to acquire a specimen of the plastrite required. Fortunately, it was approved for submission, despite being a little on the diminutive side. Wow. So it looks like the three of us are competitors now. Excuse me for prying, Miss Shenhe, but are you competing as well?
No, I don't have any questions for Ningguang. I just wanted to help her win.
In that case, I have a proposal to make.
Ah,
Lady Ningguang said that the first 3 contestants to procure all 3 materials will be awarded the chance to ask a question. Well, there are 3 teams here. We can split the prize between us.
ouais, mais est-ce que vous êtes doués?
Instead of competing against each other, we could work together to secure the top 3 places between us. What do you think?
Bah ça t'arrange bien, parce que du coup ta pierre elle est pas aussi bien que ma pierre. On a déjà gagné sur la pierre. Donc bon, j'ai envie de dire, nous on n'a rien à y gagner, à part juste être sympa. Sauf que bah forcément, on va être sympa.
Sounds great, but how does it change things exactly?
I think I see where you're going with this, Miss Yoon.
Une escroc.
The plastrite was the most difficult item to source by a long shot. Luckily, all 3 of us managed to get our hands on it. The 2 remaining items aren't quite so rare, so as long as one of us finds a way to source it, the other 2 can hop on the bandwagon. How'd I do? Is that what you had in mind?
Precisely.
Huh. Interesting approach.
Moi, je suis plus du genre à faire les choses toute seule, mais
Okay
bon.
then. All right, I'll go first. I have some leads on these wonder cores. From what I've heard, the core itself is really not that difficult to make. The hard part is getting hold of the ore used as raw materials. I'm gonna head back to the ship and ask Suling if he's heard of them. You guys...
We will head into town and seek advice from Master Zhang of Hanfeng's Ironmongers. Thoughts?
Ben, on est obligé de dire oui, hein. On est obligé de dire oui. Mais vraiment, on s'en sortait bien toute seule, hein. Ouais.
Wonderful. We'll split into teams then, and whoever makes progress first brings all of us a step closer to victory. I'm gonna take off. See you later.
Ouais. Mais de toute façon, on n'a pas le choix, hein.
Let's go! By the way, what question are you gonna ask Ningguang, Yunjin? I'm looking for a venue to host the performance of our new opera. Lady Ningguang has excellent judgment, so I would like to hear her opinion.
Ah bon? Juste pour ça.
Ooh, what's the opera called? Paimon wants to go see it. The opera is a labor of love by my father. He wrote it based on a popular urban legend about an evil spirit and an adeptus. It's called The Divine Damsel of Devastation.
Stylé. Stylé. Bonne journée, bon courage pour le taf. Bon courage. Alors, questionner maître 5 à propos des noyaux des merveilles. Oui. Oui. J'espère que comme on fait une team de 3, on va pas devoir tout faire et qu'elles vont trouver le dernier truc toutes seules quand même. Mais j'imagine que non, on va devoir tout faire de nous-mêmes. Je pense que c'est... Attends, mais c'est dans Liwei en fait? C'est dedans. Ok, on va gagner 3 mètres. On va gagner 3 mètres en faisant ça. Normalement, t'aurais déjà dû rencontrer Vœux. Ok. Pourtant, là, dans la logique, dans le chapitre 1, elle était pas là. Et dans l'interlude, elle est pas là. C'est censé être juste après, donc en soi... Attends, je voulais aller voir Catherine. Catherine! Tant qu'à faire...
Add Astra.
Oui.
Thank you for completing.
Oui. Nickel. On
Add
prend
Astra.
ça, et tant qu'à faire... On récupère et on renvoie les expéditions. Comme ça, voilà. C'est fait. Explorer et explorer. Magnifique. C'est relancé. J'avais pas fait ça ce matin. Et je pense qu'on est bon. Pourquoi est-ce que j'ai des trucs qui brillent? Ok. Très bien. Et on a ceci. D'accord. Et ça, c'était des conseils sur quoi? Ah bah oui, le monstre qu'on a buté. Ouais.
Wonderful.
Très bien.
Surely enough to convince anyone to become a wanderer.
L'intermède que tu fais est censé être après Inazuma. Ouais, ok, bah pourtant ça m'a dit intermède chapitre 1, entre chapitre 1 et chapitre 2, donc c'est... C'est pas logique que vous me dites tout ça, mais... Parce que c'est vraiment, ça a apparu en mode... faut faire juste après.
Ah, hello. Are you here for something off the shelf? Or do you need something forged?
Ah, il y a un bouton tout récupérer dans les expéditions? Non, je l'ai pas vu. Non, sérieux?
Excuse me, Master
No.
Zhang. We were wondering if you'd heard of something called a Wonder Core.
Of course I have. Sorry, who's asking?
J'avais pas
My
vu.
name is Yunjin. Perhaps you don't know me, but I believe that you forged some weaponry for my father in the past, for stage use.
Yunjin? Stage use? Oh, so you must be Miss Yoon. Sorry, my brain's finally caught up. It's not used to doing much beyond bashing a hammer all day. everyone's heard of you, Miss Yoon. Even folks who don't make it to the opera all that often. Like myself. So, you're here to ask about wonder cores, huh? As it happens, I do know how to make them. Matter of fact, I made some for Lady Ningguang back when she was building the original Jade Chamber. The types of ore needed to make wonder cores are a little hard to come by. Lady Ningguang supplied them herself last time. I don't suppose you've brought any yourselves?
No, we were gonna ask you what kinds of ore we need.
Sure. Well, you'll need two kinds. Star Splinter Iron and Subrosium.
D'accord.
If I remember correctly, Lady Ningguang sourced her Star Splinter Iron from the Mount Tianheng area. They say it resonates with visions. It
D'accord.
could take some work, but if you stick with it, you'll find some eventually. As for the Subrosium, though, that's trickier. It's all but unheard of on the market.
Pourquoi je lui tends la main là? Vas-y, donne. Donne le truc. Donne-moi ça.
I'm really not sure. Sorry. What I've heard is that the people around Mount Tianheng have some sort of magic trick that can pinpoint the location of the stuff. Of course, it's probably just hearsay. If you want my advice, start by looking for Star Splinter Iron around Mount Tianheng. And if you run into any locals, ask them a few questions about Subrosium.
Ok.
Mount Tianheng.
J'espère que je tombe pas malade. Non, ça a vraiment l'air d'être des allergies.
Interestingly
mais-
enough, the story of the divine damsel of devastation also takes place on that mountain.
C'est comme par hasard.
I hear the view
par
there
hasard.
is quite spectacular. A favorite destination of the Adepti, in fact. Perhaps it can give me some inspiration. Let's not delay. We should head straight there.
Ok. Donc, là on va miner 2 minerais différents pour pouvoir faire le truc. Très bien. Non, chronologiquement, je sais. Mais, et un truc que je comprends pas, genre vraiment, c'est. J'ai l'impression que ça vous stresse de ouf que je fasse les choses pas dans l'ordre où c'est sorti. Vraiment, là, je vois énormément de messages dans le chat depuis un moment en mode ouais, mais non, mais t'es censé la connaître parce que t'es censé déjà être allé à l'Inazuma, ça c'est après, c'est sorti après, c'est sorti après, c'est sorti après. Vraiment, j'ai vu le spam de ça, mais du coup, est-ce que vraiment il faudrait que je fasse les choses dans l'ordre où c'est sorti dans le jeu pour ne pas vous stresser? Parce que j'ai l'impression que c'est vraiment. Il faut que je le fasse dans l'ordre où vous les avez faites, tu vois. Parce que c'est... J'ai compris, du coup, c'est sorti après et tout, mais du coup, j'ai voulu faire ça parce que dans ma tête, c'était dans l'ordre. Mais j'ai l'impression que... Ok, c'est des sauts géo, ça. J'ai l'impression que j'aurais pas dû, et je suis un peu là en mode, au pire, on s'en tape, non? Mais vous êtes vraiment, vraiment passionné sur le jeu, et j'ai l'impression que c'est too much pour vous.
I came to Mount Tianheng once with my father as a child. I remember it being such a long climb that I could barely feel my legs by the time we reached the top. This is quite a trip down memory lane for me. Look at these majestic towering peaks and the gently flowing streams. It's like setting foot in paradise.
No.
No wonder the legend of the divine damsel of devastation is said to have taken place here. Adepti wander oft where mortals seldom stride. Indeed, this looks like a place that one might expect to be frequented by Adepti.
Pourtant, on est en train de marcher ici,
The
donc...
divine damsel of devastation is your upcoming opera, right? And the story takes place in Mount Tianheng. Huh. Seems like you have a real connection with this place. What's the story about, though? It's the story of a girl becoming a hero.
D'accord.
Cool. A hero story? They're Paimon's favorite! The legend first arose in this area. It is said that there used to be a prosperous village on the mountain. In that village, there was a loving couple who were completely devoted to one another. One day, a terrifying monster appeared. The wife was out collecting herbs and was captured by the monster. Her husband was so distraught at the news that it broke his spirit and drove him to madness. The vile and vicious monster told the villagers, "If you want to live, you must sacrifice a child to me."
What a nasty piece of work! Ugh. Paimon sure hopes this monster gets put in its place!
But the monster was so terrible and so strong that all within the village were terrified of it. They had no just while they were discussing whose child would be given over to the monster, a little girl suddenly stood up and came forward.
Genre, tu vois, c'est un peu long. Elle te décrit sa pièce de théâtre, enfin d'opéra. On est là pour réparer la chambre de Jade. Là, c'est un peu trop. C'est un peu trop. Elle est en train de décrire, j'imagine, la vie de Shenhe. Ou alors rien à voir, hein, mais c'est un peu... Genre, on passe beaucoup de temps sur ça. C'est en mode, oui, mais on essaye de réparer la chambre de Jade. Il nous faut 3 trucs et tout. On n'a pas le temps de discuter toute une histoire d'opéra, tu vois.
Don't do it, little girl!
Unbeknownst to anybody else, she was concealing an exorcist's blade. She approached the monster's lair, feigning fear and trepidation. When she finally arrived, she courageously drew her sword and entered into a fierce struggle with the monster, from which she eventually emerged as the victor. Her extraordinary abilities drew the attention of the Adepti, and they took her as one of their own. Her story became the stuff of legends. But alas, the paths of mortals and Adepti seldom cross, and she would never again re-enter the mortal world. And so, destined to grace the mortal realm for but a brief moment, she vanished like a wisp of smoke into thin air. That's how the opera ends.
Oui, du coup, c'est l'histoire de Shenhe, mais c'est peut-être moi qui l'a sûrement intéressée par la quête, mais c'est un peu longuet la façon dont elle écrit, dont elle explique. Oui, on a compris que c'était son histoire il y a déjà un moment, mais du coup, en mode, oui, elle connaît pas Shenhe, mais du coup, elle connaît déjà son histoire et machin. Mais ouais.
I really like this story. But I personally think that perhaps the little girl was not as brave as the opera makes her out to be. I'm not sure she deserves all the praise she is given.
I've never considered that before. Opera is always an interpretation of the events it purports to portray. A certain degree of deviation from the truth is always inevitable. When my father wrote the script for this play, I suppose his intention was to inspire his audience with the character of the divine damsel.
I think it's a great story. The ideal story.
Well, it sure inspired Paimon! Let's go get ourselves some Star Splinter Iron! Yeah!
Ouais, du coup, le père de cette fille connaît Shenhe et du coup a écrit son histoire, ce genre de truc. Mais voilà, de base, on était là pour chercher des rochers. Chercher des rochers.
Wherever in this world I roam,
Ouais.
I carry memories of my home.
Où sont les rochers?
This blade. It is the last link I have to the land of my birth.
On a fini ce rituel. Ouais, on l'a fini, ouais. Ouais, on l'a fini à un moment, effectivement. Enfin, un moment, non. Le dernier live Genshin. Pourquoi est-ce que je suis dans la zone? Il n'y a absolument rien. Il y a absolument rien. Pourquoi est-ce que... Mode marche, non. Pourquoi est-ce que... Ah oui, parce que j'ai appuyé sur A. Donc... J'en étais où? J'en étais où? Si vous pouviez éviter de me déranger pendant que je cherche mon... Il est où? Ah, il est vraiment mort? On est calme. C'est leur façon de storytelling? Ouais, effectivement. Il y a certaines phrases qui sont un peu... C'est un peu longuet. Attends, non, c'est des lucioles, ça. C'est moi où il y a 0 piste? Genre 0. C'est plus haut? Ah, ça doit être ça. J'imagine. Faire de brise étoile, ouais. Ok. Ok, il en faut un deuxième. Ouais. J'ai compris qu'il fallait utiliser les yeux divins, mais j'imagine que c'est sur la montagne. Parce qu'il n'y a même pas forcément besoin des yeux. Ouais, non, c'est pas par là. Ah, non, c'est pas par là. Ok, là-haut. Très bien. Mais c'est dur hein, en storytelling de te présenter des persos et d'un coup de leur donner de l'importance et de que tu sois à fond investi dans leur histoire, tout ça, machin. C'est compliqué. Moi, je suis un peu rigoureuse là-dessus. Genre.
Master Zhang said we should ask the locals for help.
Oui.
Why don't we try there?
Oui, je sais, effectivement. Mais moi, tu vois, on me dit, il faut 3 objets. Ok, donc je suis en mode, il faut aller chercher les 3 objets. Je suis focus sur les 3 objets. J'avoue le papillonnage de, et du coup ma pièce d'opéra et machin, et du coup un tel, c'est la fille de un tel et tout. C'est pas, non, les 3 objets, s'il vous plaît. S'il vous plaît.
Yunjin, looks like you were right. Excuse us, sir. Can we ask you something?
Et lui, il va pas vouloir parce qu'il va falloir labourer son champ avant et puis il va nous parler de son petit-fils décédé. Enfin bref, il y a toujours des choses.
He didn't seem to catch that.
Hello, sir. We were just passing by and wanted to ask if you happen to know anything about Subrosium.
Faut parler, hein, au bout d'un moment.
Trying to tell us to look for clues in the village? Well, whatever. Guess we're on our own here. Shenhe, Yunjin, let's have a look around.
Sorry, you can go ahead without me. I'd like to have a word with this gentleman.
Il a pas l'air de vouloir parler
If
justement,
that's
le
okay
monsieur.
with you, Uncle Mingjin.
Ah. C'est son... Ah, c'est son oncle. Le monde est petit, hein.
Shenhe.
Shenhe. You're alive. The rumors were true. So, all these years? I'm sorry, I don't know how to find Subrosium. But I think you can find some information in the village.
Évidemment.
And this place is deserted now. No one ever comes here. So you can rummage around all you want.
Huh? You know this guy, Shenhe?
Bah, visiblement, comme elle l'a appelé oncle. Visiblement, oui.
Thank you, kind sir. We'll go and take a look around. Don't worry. Mingjin has no ill intention towards Miss Shenhe. She'll be quite safe.
Comment tu sais ça?
Okay, then let's see what we can find in this village.
Ok. Alors. Trouver des documents qui ont été laissés dans le village. Évidemment, il y a des bouts de papier par terre, parce que évidemment le vent, tout ça, ça va pas les enlever. Mettre au-dessus. Oui. Vraiment le petit parchemin par terre qui est resté là tout ce temps, avec des indices pour trouver exactement ce qu'il nous faut. Il y avait jadis une famille au village. Attends 3 secondes. Doucement. Issu d'un clan d'exorcisme qui fut frappé par une tragédie, la mère fut emportée par la maladie et la jeune fille disparut. Ok, et peu de temps après cela, le père de famille se pendit à un arbre dans la cour. Peggy 12, mesdames et messieurs, Peggy 12. Les enquêtes permirent de découvrir les traces indiquant l'apparition de restes de... Oui, les villageois vivèrent dans l'angoisse, nanana. À ceux qui pénétrèrent dans les lieux, prenez garde. Village de Konda, ok. D'accord.
Does this mean that the true story of the divine damsel of devastation happened right here? In this, the time frame certainly matches. So it seems we're in the right area. Let's keep looking around.
Vous savez, c'est tellement un truc qui me détruit mentalement dans la vraie vie de couper la parole à quelqu'un que quand je dis pardon, je coupe la parole dans ma tête, je dis pardon au personnage pour lui avoir coupé la parole. Ce sont des pixels, hein, vraiment. Des pixels sur un écran, mais ça me stresse de couper la parole. Aïe aïe aïe. Ok. Il y a un autre document ou pas? Oui, hein. Il y a un autre document ici? Ah bon? Je peux pas casser ça. C'est pas en dessous. C'est pas là-dedans. Si, c'est là-dedans. Très bien.
What's this?
Alors, le docteur a dit que ta maladie était grave, t'en fais pas, je te sauverai. Mon cœur saigne quand je vois t'affaiblir de plus en plus. T'as vécu sa vie sans regret, que ton seul souhait est que je m'occupe bien de Shenhe. Ok, donc c'est vraiment les trucs de ses parents. Super, je sais plus où j'en suis, je continue de vivre en errant sans but. Je l'ai trouvé, le livre qui pourrait te sauver. Il s'avérait que Minjun le gardait en cachette. Je me suis emparée du livre. Et j'ai invoqué un dieu pour lui offrir un sacrifice. Le dieu est apparu, je lui ai dit que je voulais échanger ma vie contre la tienne. Il est resté silencieux et a montré notre fille. Le dieu a dit qu'elle était une enfant maudite, et que si elle restait en vie, elle ferait du mal à ses proches. Elle pourrait même entraîner ma mort. Alors j'ai pensé que la meilleure chose à faire, je l'ai laissée dans la grotte, comme m'a indiqué le dieu. Après 3 jours, j'ai toujours pas eu de nouvelles. Attendre de la sorte me rendait impatient et agité, et j'ai un mauvais pressentiment. Je suis indigne de Shenhe, indigne de toi, j'ai été stupide, laissez-moi vous rejoindre. Sympa le père!
So, Shenhe is the divine damsel?
Non, sans blague.
Now that I think about it, she does behave rather like an adeptus, and she is about the right age. So that's why I've been getting the strangest feeling whenever I chat with her. I should have noticed it earlier. According to this text, the divine damsel from the opera was actually the daughter of the loving couple.
Il m'en faut peu, hein, mais vraiment le plan... Waouh, regardez ce chou. Regardez-le, il brille. Regardez-moi ce chou. Voulez-vous ce chou? Je suis fatiguée. Pardon. Non mais le plan est parfait. Vraiment, tu as un truc qui brille, c'est un chou, il est de toute beauté. Ce chou.
And she didn't volunteer. She was sacrificed to the monster by her own father.
Ouais, non, par contre, c'est horrible. C'est horrible. Je rigole de la fatigue parce qu'il y a le chou qui brille, mais c'est Peggy 12, hein.
The truth is even more lamentable than the opera. Now I understand why Shenhe said the girl was not as brave as people think. It wasn't her choice to enter that ghastly situation. She was forced into it. It looks like my father may need to make a few revisions to his beloved opera.
Alors, oui, mais le but là, c'est pas l'opéra là. On est là pour autre chose. Oh, mais quel chou! Mesdames et messieurs. Regardez-le, c'est le chou. Ça veut dire que les cinématiques, elles sont pas préfaites. Elles s'adaptent un petit peu à l'environnement.
We'll need more where that came from.
Le jeu, elle a été sacrifiée par son père. Marie, oh, un chou. Non mais ils nous le mettent devant nos yeux, il brille et tout, bordel. Attends, continue à chercher des documents. J'imagine qu'ils sont au-dessus. Non mais toujours plus petit la zone. Toujours plus petite. Attends, il y a un coffre.
We'll need more where that came from.
Exactement. On perd pas le nord ici, on perd pas le nord. C'est quoi ça? C'est juste du jade normal pour... ouais. Ouais, c'est juste... ouais, c'est normal. On prend quand même. Cœur de la piste. Ok. Donc. Ah. La magie scellée dans le subrosium ne se dissipe pas facilement. Certains pensent que ce minerai est un lien entre les vivants et les morts, mais trouver du subrosium n'est pas chose aisée, il faut être au bon endroit au bon moment. La légende veut que si on se tient au milieu du lac, au sud des monts Tianheng, au crépuscule, on puisse trouver du subrosium en regardant dans la direction du coucher du soleil. C'est précis, hein? Milieu du lac, sud du mont Tianheng, crépuscule, direction du coucher de soleil. Okay.
So basically, we need to go to the middle of the lake south of Mount Tianheng at dusk, and we'll find us some subrosium.
Exactement.
Let's go back and tell Shenhe the news.
Ouais, je pense que Shenhe, elle s'en tape totalement. Parce que elle parle avec son oncle. Alors, on a laissé ton frère m'enfermer? La réunion
One
familiale.
year when I was back visiting, I heard a story about a white-haired adeptus from a merchant passing by. I never imagined it was you. I was a very close friend of your father's. I could have stopped him from performing the summoning ritual. I had plenty of chances, but I couldn't bring myself to stand up to him. I just let things happen, let it all escalate. Well, we all know I bring flowers back here every year. And each time I wish I had a chance to apologize to you.
C'est vraiment, je devrais... À chaque fois que je dis pardon, je devrais boire une gorgée, parce que dans le fond, on s'en fout. Mais il a dit trois phrases de plus en anglais qu'en français, c'est...
Apologize for what? If you'd stopped him, he'd only have found another way. There is nothing he wouldn't have done for his true love. Nothing.
Do you still hate him?
Bah normal, mais il a quand même enfermé dans une grotte pendant 3 jours. Allô? Allô, si elle lui reparle, faut y aller quand même, hein. Je sais que moi je suis très rancunière, mais faut pas non plus être débile.
I don't know what I feel. I'm told my fate is to bear the curse of calamity, so my master bound my soul with red ropes to curb my aggression. But it also dampened my emotions, making me dispassionate, like the Adepti. So if you ask me how I feel about the past, if I hate my father or not, the truth is, I feel nothing at all.
It must have been so tough for you all these years.
Non, sans blague.
Shenhe, we're back!
Oh, then I will leave you all in peace. Shenhe, it brings me some solace knowing that you are okay.
Aye.
I'll tell you more about the old times next time we meet.
Ouais.
Thanks, mister. We found some info in the end.
Au revoir, hein. Du coup, hein. Bon.
Shenhe, look. This tells us how to find Subrosium. All we gotta do is go to the middle of that lake.
Let's go then.
Non, tu lui poses pas de questions.
Miss Shenhe, there's something I'd like to talk to you about.
Oh, Seigneur.
Just now, in the village, we found your father's diary. It turns out that many of the details in the Divine Damsel of Devastation are not true to the facts. So I'd like to change them.
Mais déjà, t'as pas sa permission pour faire toute une pièce d'opéra sur elle. Et maintenant, bah faut que ce soit accuré, t'es tout, dis-moi tout, parce qu'on a trouvé le journal de ton père. Non mais, oh là là, tout ça, non mais... Moi, laissez-moi trouver ma pierre, je veux juste faire la chambre de Jade, on s'envole et salut. La pauvre, laissez-la tranquille, elle a déjà eu une vie de merde.
Why?
I know I say that opera always deviates from the truth, but now that the main character is standing right here in front of me, I cannot simply dismiss your lived experience in favor of my father's fiction.
It's okay. I like your version.
Huh?
My master once said that the day I learn how to use my strength for the good of others is the day that I can truly become part of human society. So, I hope that one day I might be brave enough to stand up and protect others, just like the girl in the opera. But I've never thought this way before, and I wonder whether I will continue to think in this way.
Don't worry. I believe you will. In fact, I think maybe you've already started to become the person you aspire to be. You just haven't had the opportunity to see it for yourself yet.
Shenhe, Yunjin, cut the chit-chat. Let's go!
Merci, Paimon. Merci. Aïe aïe aïe. Ouais non, j'ai du mal hein, avec la fille et l'opéra. J'ai du mal, mon cerveau ne suit pas. C'est mignon, hein. Tu fais une pièce d'opéra, mais écoute le monde, hein.
We can't let someone else beat us to it!
Exactement. Aïe aïe aïe.